Good morning, Baguio. Good morning, Philippines. This is your Manang Lucy and Attorney Emily here in our new podcast.
The law will get you through. We are excited to have the first part of our episode this day, and we will be talking on marriage. So we hope you will stay with us and take part with the discussion. If ever you have questions or you have inputs, just feel free to join us.
I'm sure marami po tayong mga katanungan dyan, ano?
Mm-mm.
Kasi ang dami nang nangyayari sa mga marriages in our community, no? But before we go into legal remedies sa marriage na yan, we also know that unlike other contracts, iba itong marriage contract na ito. So,
Mm-hmm.
attorney, what makes marriage a special contract?
Okay. No less than our family code tells us that marriage is a special contract. Why is it special? Because when we compare this with the ordinary contracts, ito po kasi ay hindi ito nakadepende sa terms and conditions na pinag-aagrihan ng mga parties.
Mhm.
Unlike in ordinary contracts, the ordinary contracts are governed by the terms and conditions as stipulated or as agreed upon by the parties. So,
Mhm.
pwede silang mag-agree na, let's say, a contract of lease, for example. Okay, the term of this contract of lease will be good for 1 year. And after that, it will be subject to renewal if the
Mhm.
parties would so desire.
Yeah.
Pero pag marriage kasi, hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na, okay, I am entering into a contract of marriage with you, and maybe let's try it for first 5 years. And then
And
after
let's
that,
see.
subject to renewal of the parties. We cannot do that in marriage. That's why it is a special contract because its terms, okay, or the nature, the consequences in the incidents of marriage are governed by law and it is not subject to the stipulation of the parties. Unlike yung sinabi ko kanina, Manang Lucy, no, na
Mhm.
pag ordinary contract iyan, like deed of sale, the parties can negotiate na pwede nilang sabihin, I will buy your car. How much? Sasabihin ng buyer, I'm offering it at 1.5. And then the buyer would say, can we make it 1.2 or until bababa doon sa mapag-aagrihan nila. So it's really subject to the agreement of the parties, the
Mhm.
other ordinary contracts. Pero pag sinabi po kasi nating marriage ito, hindi po ito nakadepende sa agreement or stipulation ng mga parties, but it is governed by law. Okay, ano yung law? Pag sinasabi nating law, we have the family code in particular, and then we also have provisions on marriage and family as embodied in the Philippine Constitution.
Hindi basta-basta ang marriage, ano? Walang expiration date po na
Correct.
sinabi ni attorney. Oo. But since we are all humans, no?
Mm-hmm.
The parties involved in a marriage can sometimes fail, as we have seen several failed marriages in our community.
Mm-hmm.
Ano ba usually in your practice, attorney? Ano ba yung nagiging rason kung bakit nagfe-fail ang marriages?
All right. Karamihan dito, no, yung sabihin na natin yung mga marriages na hindi nagwo-work is, kung titingnan natin, it started from petty small things
Mhm.
like the personal differences
Mhm.
between the spouses, yung mga preferences nila in life, kung minsan behavioral, attitudinal, mga ganyan,
Mhm.
na kung hindi ito na-address or uusapan or naaayos at the earliest possible time, ito yung lumalalim ng lumalalim,
Mhm.
and then until such time na hindi na nila kayang i-patch up yung kanilang mga differences. Although, I would also like to emphasize that in a lot of cases decided by the Supreme Court, hindi po ito ground, no, yung sinasabi nating personal differences, irreconcilable differences ng mga mag-asawa, hindi po ito ground as psychological incapacity.
Mm.
But in reality, ito yung mga pinagmumulan actually ng hindi pagkakaunawaan, na hanggang sa lumalalim sa the love becoming hatred, mga ganyan, and then from pain to pain, ganyan. And then nagkakaroon na ng lamat yung relasyon ng mga mag-asawa. Okay? So, ito yung isa sa pinakamadalas na dahilan kung bakit. And sometimes, also, the cause of marriage failure is entry of third party. Marami tayong ganito, no? Pag merong pumasok na third party sa isang relationship, mas mahirap kasing ayusin iyan. Kung walang third party sa isang relationship, maging mag-asawa man yan, or boyfriend and girlfriend, kahit anong hindi pagkakaintindihan, pwede pang ayusin iyan ng mag-asawa. But once there is a third party involved, it makes it more difficult to settle or to fix. And most often than not, that results to the separation of the parties. That is in real life.
And sometimes, attorney, as far as we know, it's sort of prohibitive. Medyo may kamahalan yung mga sigurong andyan na legal remedies. And then, siguro, sometimes they reach a point of agreement na let's just part ways. Ano ho yung consequence, no? Pwede ho ba talaga yon? Does it legitimize the separation? Kasi nag-agree na sila.
Yeah.
Oo.
Actually, I have a lot of clients in real life, no, na magtatawag yan o kaya pupunta sa office. Yung iba pa nga, may dala-dalang ano yan pirmado nila na agreement, okay? At ang nakalagay doon ay agreement daw nila to separate and then pirmado daw nila. So, papakita sa akin na, attorney, gusto ko nang mag-asawa kasi yung first marriage ko ay wala na. Ganon. So, sabi ko, ibig mong sabihin, you were formerly married? Opo. And was it legally nullified or annul? Pag tinatanong ko, hindi na kasi mahal pumunta kasi sa korte, sabi nila. Mahal mag-abogado. So, ang ginawa na lang namin, attorney, ito, di bale, meron kaming kasulatan, ganyan, no? Very proud pa nilang ipapakita. And some of these documents are even ancient. Talagang matagal, no? Kasi matagal na silang nag-agree pala na ganun. Pero, pinakatago-tago nila because they really think na merong yung force. Akala nila it has the force of law between them. Pero, ganito po kasi iyan. When we talk about marriage, I would like to emphasize that it is governed by law and not subject to the stipulation of the parties. So, kahit mag-agree yung mag-asawa na maghiwalay sila, may pirmahan man yan, okay? Kahit nagpirmahan na kayo, still, our law does not recognize such as a valid reference or as a valid ground for the couple to separate. Kasi, ang nire-recognize lang po ng ating batas na way or manner of nullifying or to sever the marriage bond or tie is only through a court decree or court declaration na sinasabi niya na yung marriage ay either annulled or yung marriage is either nullified. So neither of the agreement of the parties, even if it is in writing, will allow the parties to part ways, to live separately and it will be honored. No, hindi po ganon. Kailangan pumunta po kayo sa korte and then yung korte lang po ang pwedeng mag-declare kung ang inyong marriage is already annulled or nullified. The agreement between the parties, I repeat, even if it is in writing and signed personally by the parties, will not allow them.
Wala siyang validity, kumbaga.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And ang funny pa niyan, may isang nagsabi sa akin na yung agreement daw nila actually is signed by a lawyer. So sabi ko,
is the lawyer at fault there?
Yeah. So sabi ko, are you sure it's signed by a lawyer? Sabi
Baka
ko ganun,
notaryo.
Oo, pinanotaryo nga daw nila. So sabi ko, dalhin nyo nga sa akin yung document na yun at tingnan natin. Tingnan ko nga kung sinong lawyer ang nagnotaryo. But that was the first time that they appeared before me in my office. They never returned. Because alam ko na, walang abogado na magnonotaryo ng ganun na agreement ng paghihiwalay ng mag-asawa kasi alam po ng mga abogado iyan na bawal po yon. So, hindi po namin nonotaryuhan yung mga agreement na ganun na mag-a-agree ang mag-asawa na maghihiwalay. Because we can be administratively charged if we will notarize documents with that kind of content.
So, kayo dyan ha, mga ka-komunidad natin na
Wag niyong-
nag-iisip na
Huwag
ano
nilang
ka na?
idamay ang mga abogado.
Oo, na you're on the safe side already kasi nagpirmahan na yung mga spouses. It's still marriage enforced, no? Parang
Yes.
valid pa yung marriage na yun kahit na they are separated. In fact, kahit
Yes.
walang legal separation, attorney?
Actually,
Uh-huh.
iyan din ang isang magandang usapin, no? Yung mga iba kasi ang sinasabi nila, okay, mag-apply na lang tayo ng legal separation, sabi nila, because they think as layman na pag legal separation yan, ay pwede na silang mag-asawa. Pero hindi po. Yun ang kaibahan ng legal separation because when we say legal separation, the spouses are still legally married. They are only allowed to be living separately. Yun yung tinatawag natin na in board and in bed, pwede silang maghiwalay. But still, yung
Kasal pa
marriage
rin
ban,
sila.
yes, they're still married and neither of them can remarry. Unlike pag sinabi po natin na annulment of marriage or nullity of marriage, then pwede silang mag-remarry. If there is a court order or declaration nullifying the marriage or declaring it as annulled. Pero pag legal separation, inuulit ko po, the marriage ban is still existing. So, neither of the parties can enter into another marriage because under the law, they are still legally married.
Okay. So malinaw po yun, ano? Let us not mislead ourselves in the belief that porke may pirmahan na or kahit na may legal separation, valid pa pala yung marriage. So, neither parties are allowed by law to remarry. No?
Yes.
So, if ever they are already cohabiting with a new partner, that's still considered concubinage for the male, attorney?
Yes,
Yeah.
and adultery for the married woman who is entering or having sexual intercourse with another man who is not
The
her
husband.
husband. That is the technical and legal definition of adultery. So, but punta tayo sa realidad. Okay? Ang nangyayari kasi sa tunay na buhay, ganito. Okay? Mag-asawa sila, pero since they are not getting along well with, ang ginagawa nila, nagkakaroon sila ng mga third parties. Yung, in short, sinasabi natin kabit, quote and unquote. No? And then, the other partner also, out of revenge, ganon, then, he or she will also have another partner. So, ang nangyayari nito ay, nagkakaroon ngayon ng komplikasyon. Kasi, they are legally married, but then, the husband will have a paramour, and then nagkaroon sila ng anak. And then the wife also, out of revenge, or sabi niya, since iniwan ako ni husband, then I will also
May
enter
karapatan
into...
na rin ako, parang ganon.
Yeah,
Oo.
okay. So, magkakaroon na rin, mag-enter na rin siya into another relationship with another man. So, kung magkakaroon sila ng anak with that another man again, di ba napakagulo ng sitwasyon? But, I have a lot of cases na ganito sa totoong buhay. So, pupunta sa akin ngayon yung lalaki at ganito ang tanong, attorney, ano ang pwede kong gawin? Okay, sabi ko. Okay, gumawa ka kasi ng problema sabi ko. So, you have your first family, you have your children there. You have your second family, you have your children here. Sabi kong ganon. Ngayon, ano ngayon? Di ba? He has to choose because sa ating batas dito sa Pilipinas, hindi ka naman pwedeng mag-marry ng dalawa except for the Muslims, of course.
Bigamy na yun.
But for non-Muslims, we are only allowed to marry once. So, he really has to choose. So, sabi ko sa kanya, which marriage would you like to keep? Is it your first marriage or your relationship, rather, with the second girl? Mamimili ngayon siya. So, of course, I'm always advising, ang ina-advise ko sa kanila, since legally married ka doon sa una, hindi ba pwedeng ayusin mo iyon? Kasi may anak naman kayo doon. Then, sasabihin naman ngayon yan na, ay attorney, pero paano naman yung doon sa kabit ko, meron din kaming anak. O, ganun. So talagang, ano yan it's really a problem because he will really have to choose kung sino ang itutuloy niya. Babalik ba siya doon sa kanyang legal family? Or iiwanan niya yon and he will have to marry the second girl. So sabi ko, kung gusto mong ayusin yung iyong first family, which is the legal family, then kailangan you have to break up with the second girl.
partner.
Oo, and then ayusin mo yung relasyon mo doon sa una mong pamilya. So, makipag-reconcile ka doon kay original wife mo. Pero kung ayaw mo yun at ang gusto mong ituloy ay yung second girl, yung kabit niya, then you have to file a petition for nullity or annulment para ma-severe yung marriage niya doon sa first wife niya para mapakasalan niya yung second girl. Kasi kung hindi niya gagawin iyon,
Forever yung...
kabit forever yung pangalawang babae.
Yeah.
And ang problem dyan is, it will result to illegitimate children. Kasi ang mangyayari niyan, ang lehitimo na anak ay yung mga
First,
anak niya doon sa kanyang legal
legally
wife.
married wife.
Pero doon sa kabit niya, the children there would be illegitimate because any children that is born out of wedlock will be considered illegitimate. So, ito yung mga complications. Kaya maganda rin na pag-uusapan natin ito, Manang Lucy, for educational purposes sa ating mga viewers para alam nila na hindi pala maganda na magkaroon or to enter into many relationships because it will cause complications and problems. And sabi ko nga sa kanila palagi alam nyo, last lang naman yan And then after the last, you will be thinking of your first family. Diba? Na sayang, sinira ko ang aking pamilya.
Yeah.
Kung inayos ko sana pala iyon, ngayon ko lang marirealize na.
And probably it happens in their old age.
Yeah.
Too late the hero, no?
Usually, meron pa nga karamihan dyan, no? Pag sila ay, maraming actual cases na ganun, no? Na pag nagkasakit na sila, mahina na sila, iiwanan na sila nung kanilang kabit. And then what will happen to them is they will go back to
their first family.
To their real family, to their legal family, ganon. And ito ay ang nakakalungkot dito, no? It is happening many times. Kaya siguro it's also a sign of the moral decay of the society that we are living in. It's a fact of life, but it is not really something good. It's bad, but it's happening.
Yeah.
But the problem there is, yung mga nagsasuffer talaga dito usually is the children. Because, okay, kung they will take it constructively, they will be challenged, and they will still magpupursige sila.
Yeah.
But the others, they will rebel. Magre-rebelde sila. At iyan yung magkakaroon tayo ng mga children in conflict with the law, mga ganyan, yung they will drop out from school, mga ganito. So,
they will
it's
be
really difficult.
maladjusted, they become maladjusted adults. Pero going back kung bakit importante nga yung marriage, kasi yun yung basihan ng matatag na pamilya
Yes.
A good marriage is the rock foundation of a strong family. Strong because yun yung unang support system ng kahit sinong bata, di ba? So if it's a very unstable family, that would define well, for most cases, parang it would define the kind of adults they will become. So if they were raised in a very unloving atmosphere, na hindi nabigyan ng tamang suporta, sometimes that would define, sabi mo nga, people in conflict with the law kasi nga probably they felt so unloved, so they look for love in so many ways that could be wrong. So they become persons in conflict with law. And actually sa mga psychologists, maraming pag-aaral diyan na children who are growing up from dysfunctional families, most likely, since wala silang good foundation of what a family is, parang yung family na makikreate nila is also something like that. Dysfunctional, parang mga ganyan. But
it may be true, pero nasa tao pa rin naman yan. But
Yeah,
it has an
tama.
effect eh. It really has an effect because I've read a lot of psychological reports when it comes to nullity cases, no? Na kailangan yung may mga psychological report, lalo na in the old rule na kailangan talaga it's a mandatory. Makikita mo diyan yung psychological report na based doon sa pag-aaral ng mga psychologists na yan na the people who are having dysfunctional families usually came from dysfunctional families also.
Yeah.
Because they do not have a good foundation. Wala silang sense ng family, so they do not know how to value family, they do not know how to give love, ganyan. But meron naman tayong mga interventions para habang lumalaki yung mga bata na ipinapanganak sa ganito ay hindi sila magiging dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Because we have our schools, we have our churches, and this can help them to grow up, to become better persons, na kahit ganun yung kanilang kinalakihan, ay magkakaroon pa rin sila ng sense of family, yung ganon, para hindi matulad yung kanilang bubuuin na pamilya doon sa pamilya
Pinanggalingan
na
nila.
kinagisnan nila. Oo,
Yeah.
ganon.
Attorney, maiba naman ako, no? So, in the case where a marriage nullity happens, what happens to the children of that nullified marriage? Will they also be considered illegitimate?
Okay.
Because sabi nga natin, if it's nullified, parang there was no marriage in the first place, di ba?
Yeah.
Oo. So, what happens there?
We say that if a marriage is nullified, it is a void ab initio. It is as if no marriage has ever existed. Okay, klaro po yan sa batas natin na if the ground for denullification is Article 36 of the Family Code on Psychological Incapacity or Article 53 of the Family Code, ito po yung subsequent marriage which was eventually nullified because the spouses did not comply with the requirement of liquidation on the property before entering into the marriage, and they did not secure the legitimes of the children, then the subsequent marriage is also considered as null and void. Sa mga ganito po na grounds ng nullity, Article 36 on psychological incapacity, Article 53, even if the marriage will be so declared as null and void on these grounds, the children conceived and born within this marriage are still considered as legitimate. Pero kung yung marriage po ay declared as null and void because of the following grounds as so provided in Article 35, Paragraph 1, 4, 5, and 6. And yung Article 37, ito po yung incestuous marriages, kaya na-nullify. O kaya yung Article 38, ito naman yung mga void marriages by reason of public policy like yung adopting parent, inasawa niya yung inadapt niya na child, that's an example. And that is that will fall under void marriages by reason of public policy. So, yung mga ganito po na ground ng nullification ng marriage, the children conceived out of these void marriages will be considered as illegitimate.
Oh, kasi
So,
it was
depende sa
parang
ground.
wrong in the first place, ano? Oo. Kasi nga I know of some families na kaya ayaw ipa-annul. Kunyari naging may by reason of infidelity of one spouse na gustong magpa-annul pero ayaw nung isang party. It's because of the fear that the children born out of that marriage would lose their rights as legitimate children.
Yeah.
But hearing what you said now, na sinabi mo, outside of those conditions, like, incestuous and yung
Void.
adoptive parents, these children, outside of those conditions, ay pwede pa rin considered na legitimate and are still entitled to the rights of a legitimate child.
Yes.
Diba?
If
Oo.
the ground for the nullification is Article 36, psychological incapacity, or the ground is Article 53 of the Family Code,
Three po.
yun yung sinabi ko kanina na if the parties will enter into a subsequent marriage without first complying with the requirement of the previous paragraph, which is Article 52, na before you enter into a subsequent marriage, dapat ang requirement po kasi dyan is ma-liquidate yung properties and then ma-protect, ma-deliver yung legitim or yung mana ng mga anak doon sa unang asawa. And that is actually for the protection of the children in the first marriage. Because just imagine the situation. Pag hindi po kasi iyon ginawa at magme-marry ulit, yung property na na-acquire nila in the first marriage, pwedeng ibibigay niya, ipapamana niya doon sa anak niya sa second.
Pangalawa.
Yes, which will be unfair for the children in the first marriage because kaya po sinasabi ng batas na may legitim, ito po yung inheritance po na which is talagang inilalaan po yan ng batas para doon sa mga anak. So dapat they have to comply with that before entering into a subsequent marriage. Otherwise, the subsequent marriage will also be considered as void.
Okay, oo. So malinaw po 'yun, ano po? Kasi ang nangyayari kasi sa ating mga communities, parang pag naghiwalay na, sometimes they just let it be hanggang mamatay na yung mga spouses, ano. And then the
Yeah.
children will be at a loss, 'di ba?
Yes.
Parang ano na kasi nga nagkaroon ng second family yung one of the parents, and then all the rights that should have been given to this first set of children of the legitimate marriage, parang ano na sila, parang in their minds, wala na silang rights over whatever naiwan nung deceased parent. Oo, so
And
ano pala yan?
kaya may tinatawag tayo na parang iron curtain, parang ganun between the legitimate family and the illegitimate family kasi it is a normal feeling for those the original family, no, na magkakaroon sila ng parang hatred doon sa second family nung kanilang mother or ng kanilang father dahil imbis na kami yung family ni tatay, meron kasi kayo, yung mga ganyan. So meron yung animosity between them. So and it leads to a deeper family feud, mga ganyan, no, na may division talaga iyon. Na
so you call it iron curtain, ha?
Because of the ano yan yung feeling na
inagaw sa amin.
Yes.
Parang ganon.
Kung hindi dahil sa inyo, buo pa yung pamilya namin. May mga ganon. Kung hindi dahil sa inyo, mga ganyan-ganyan. So, these are the things na sana i-consider ng mga married persons. Kaya nga palagi kong sinasabi sa mga estudyante ko, no, sa persons in family relations na pag pinag-uusapan namin yung marriage, sinasabi ko na so these are the essential requisites of marriage, these are the formal requisites of marriage, these are the duties and obligations of the spouses towards each other and their duties to their children. So, pag alam nyo na kayang-kaya nyo na ang mga duties and responsibilities na yan, that's the only time that you enter into marriage.
Yes,
sabi ko. Okay.
So that's a very strong advice for singles out there, no? Hindi ho biro ang pag-aasawa.
Yeah.
And it's not a union that has an expiration date, no? So careful lang bago
Yes.
mag-commit, ano? Oo.
True. Because it's a lifetime commitment.
Yeah.
Okay, kasi ang sabi pa natin dyan, bakit nga ba special? Okay, so sabi natin, because the nature, consequences, and incidents are governed by law and not subject to the stipulations of the parties. And one thing more, it is a permanent union.
Yes.
Okay? The family code defines marriage as a permanent union between a man and a woman. So, pag sinabi nating permanent union, wala itong expiration date. Okay? You will be forever bound, okay, to one and another. Ganon. So, sabi ko nga sa kanila, isipin nyo muna, ready ba kayo? And then, sabi ko, since the purpose of marriage is to establish family and conjugal life, Sabi kong ganon, are you willing to leave your family and build your own family with your wife or with your husband? Kasi sabi ko nga sa kanila, kung meron sa inyo ang mama's boy or meron sa inyo ang papa's girl, mga ganyan. Kasi parang napakaliit na bagay ito, pero may mga ibang marriage na ito rin ang cause ng failure nila, yung masyadong malapit sa kanyang papa, yung babae, and yung lalaki naman masyadong malapit sa kanyang mother, na mama's boy.
Oo, mas pinapakinggan ang sinasabi ng
Yeah.
nanay.
And then kunting argument nila, pupunta siya kay takbo sa nanay. And then pag nakialam naman yung parents, lumalaki yung problema. Ito yung mga totoong pangyayari sa buhay. So, sabi ko sa kanila, if you are really ready to leave your family and be united with your spouse to be, sabi kong ganun din, you can marry. But until then, wag muna kayong mag-aasawa.
Yeah. Good one. So, let's keep that in mind, tayong mga nanonood dyan, na mga siguro at the age of marrying age, sabihin natin, and contemplating to marry, pag-isipan po natin mabuti ang nabanggit ni attorney.
Yeah. And one thing more, Manang Lucy, ang isang napakahalagang talakayin pagdating sa marriage is divorce.
Yes.
Kasi sabi nung iba, napaka-tedious na proseso yung annulment, nullity. Hindi ba maging practical na lang tayo na parang sa ibang bansa na nag-divorce sila, mabilisan lang, ganyan-ganyan. So, maraming tatanong na, since alam naman po natin na sa ating bansa ay wala pa po tayong batas
hindi
na
pa approved,
nag-a-allow ng divorce. Okay, so definitely, wala pa tayong batas na nag-a-allow ng divorce dito sa ating sa ating bansa. Okay, so ang mga katanungan dito, ito yung mga na-encounter ko. Alright, pero paano yung sitwasyon na yung mga Filipino, especially the rich Filipinos, may mga rich Filipinos kasi, who are going abroad, they obtain naturalization, and then, because the law of that country allows divorce, they will obtain divorce decree there. Ang question dyan is, yun bang divorce decree which was obtained by the Filipino abroad, should that be honored or should that be recognized here in the Philippines? But since this topic is very important, but it will require us a longer time to discuss so that we can fully ventilate this issue on divorce. Ito po ang tatalakayan namin ni Manang Lucy sa susunod na episode.
Again, masalimot po ang usaping marriage, at saka mga legal remedies nito. So, mahaba hong patalakayan pa ang kakailanganin natin. But in the meantime, kung may mga tanong po kayo dyan, you please just send it to us. Pwede ho kayong mag-comment.
Yes.
And put in your questions there so we can address it in the next podcast. Yes.
So thank you for being with us, and we hope you have learned some legal insights from our podcast. Until the next, this is Attorney Emily Balungay. In our program, The Law Will Get You Through.
Yes, this is also your Manang Lucy of Baguio Chronicle saying thank you for staying on and learning new insights from the law. Again, maraming salamat and see you in our next episode.